3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome to Tapping In. I'm Gary Spivey, and we're going to have a great show today. I'm super excited. Remember, this is a spiritual show that gives you spiritual solutions to your real life problems. Now, here's the thing. I've got with me two of my best friends in the world. I love these guys. I talk to them every week, and to straighten me up. Right. And so who straightens me up? Well, these guys do a lot of times. And the reason is because, like me, they have a lot of credentials like doctors and, oh, no, that's not me. That's not me. I'm something else. But you guys do have a lot of credentials. Anyway, I would say Dr. Barbara Grossman and Dr. Michael Grossman. How are you guys doing? And so, but you have so many titles that I was trying to get it together before the show so I could introduce these guys. And I frankly couldn't remember that many things. And so you guys have to tell us what you do.
So great to be here, Gary.
Oh, thank you. I love you guys. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. So I have a PhD in theology as well as counseling, and I've been in practice for 35 years as an individual marriage and family therapist, and I promise you I know what's going on in American families and marriages.
All right. And we can't wait to hear that because, you know, a lot of times I would say you guys call me about half the time you got some problem at home or a problem with your relationship. And so I solved that in a spiritual sense, but I realized over me doing what I've done for many years that there's more than just the spiritual side of things. You have a spiritual side of things, and you also have a mental side of things, an emotional side of things, and a physical side of things. And so in those one or four of those places or more is your problem. So I can dig that out. But I would say you guys have a wonderful way of explaining all of the above and really sorting it out. So I love having these great conversations with you. And so I'm so excited to have you on the podcast so we can share your knowledge and you know, your experiences with everything. And so Dr. Michael, tell me about you.
I am a medical doctor, and I specialize in anti-aging rejuvenative medicine. And
that's the reason I look so good. Now, you guys, you may not know this, but I'm actually 93 years old. That's right. I'm old.
As we get older, we lose the youthful hormones. I do a lot of bioidentical hormone replacement, all kind of work with sexual dysfunction. I do all kinds of things in stem cells to rejuvenate injuries to the body, and it's just a fun area to make people youthful.
And I had that done. You did that with me.
That's true.
Yeah, and so true. I don't mind sharing my junk with you guys. And so I got a really good feeling. I got a really good feeling about doing stem cells. You were telling me about it, and we're buddies, and we were at dinner in close to where you guys are down in
Orange County,
you know, in California, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have this procedure done, and you know what? I feel so good after this procedure. So I had this stem cell thing done. It was not painful at all. I mean, zero pain. And I just kind of got to hang out with you and your wonderful staff all day long, and Barbara, and we just had a ball. And but I feel so much better. It took about, for me, I'm really sensitive, so I can feel energy and see it. And when the little stem cells started going into my body, and you know, my stem cells, I saw different body organs lighting up. I felt my pancreas light up, and so a lot of different members of my family are you know, predisposition, of course, diabetic. They're all diabetics, and so I think I probably have that hanging around out there. And so anyway, I felt my pancreas get hot. It really got warm, and I thought, wow, these little boogers are healing my pancreas. And so I was very excited, and about a month later, I felt like so good, and I've been feeling great ever since. And this was maybe a while ago, almost a year.
Yeah.
And so, but anyway, tell us about it. You tell us about it. I'm telling you about my experience, but all you guys. But tell us about what does it do? What do you think it does that makes you? How does it work?
Stem cells are naturally in our body. They are cells that are waiting to repair and replicate and make us youthful. I mean, you need stem cells all the time to repair any injury in the body. And as we get older, the stem cells kind of fall asleep, and they just don't work as efficiently as they did when we were a young person. But
Okay.
what we can do is take the stem cells from your own fat,
Right.
separate them
I'm
from
safe
the
there.
fat.
I had some fat.
You had some fat.
We're doing good.
And we can wake them up, and then we put them back in your body, and it regenerates whatever it needs to regenerate. We don't have to be very specific. We could inject your knee, your hip, your shoulder if you're having problems and you need to have a joint replacement, but we can also just put them inside your vein, and they go all over your body to your brain, your heart, your liver, your pancreas, whatever needs to be repaired.
And they know what to do.
They know what to do.
They know what
They're
to do.
smart. You
Right.
just wake them up. They're like firemen who are asleep in the fire station. You wake them up, and they say, "Where's the fire?" And they go and look, and just they know where to go.
So
It's
that's
fantastic.
kind of like miracle stuff. I mean,
It is.
medical science. A lot of the things I'll tell someone something that there's no way I could know it, and even many times. I mean, that I can diagnose health in pretty much minute
Sitting
detail.
around the table, he gets his phone call from his friend in California. Describes that close friend just is paralyzed, can't move.
And the ambulance took her over to Community Memorial.
Oh no.
Her brother's there.
That's
Fortunately.
bad.
They went to wake her up this morning because Phil was leaving, and they couldn't wake her.
And Gary says, "Oh yeah, she's paralyzed because she's just had a little stroke."
What I see, I actually see that this time she's had a stroke. It's not a big stroke, but it's a small one. It's in the back part of her brain, the back of her head. I'm clearing the darkness off so it won't get worse, hopefully.
And he describes where the little stroke is.
I think she's not sleeping. I think it looks like she had a seizure or something in the middle of the night because she's so exhausted. Does she have sleep apnea? She does. Does she wear her CPAP machine? Has she got one? She don't wear it. Okay, that's what it is. I think she's probably had a stroke. I think because she's not wearing a CPAP machine.
A little while later, we get a call back, said, yeah, they had the MRI, and the MRI says, yeah, she's had a little stroke in the back of her head.
Contrast CT scan didn't show any clots. MRI shows a small stroke, like you said. They just took her another CT. They're admitting her and keeping her. She is more coherent now.
As a medical doctor, it's incredible to see an individual like Gary who can be like a super CAT scan MRI expert and look into people and see what the problem is. You wouldn't even think it's possible until you see it over and over again. That's what Gary does on a regular basis. It's just so amazing, incredible. He sees beyond the physical realm into the spiritual realms, which create and blossom into the physical realm. And it's just a joy to be around Gary when he works on those levels. It's incredible.
It's great to be on Gary's team because he wants to grow people. He wants people to be happy and healthy and live good lives where they have the energy and capacity to contribute. And it's just a pleasure to be here.
What you guys do is a miracle. I mean, because and science is really a miracle, and so I think the two are going together these days.
It is a miracle. I have titled the book that I wrote on stem cells, "The Magic of Stem Cells: Awakening Your Own Healing Power."
And this is magic.
It is magic.
Right.
It's magic because whoever programmed the DNA of human beings, of all animals, of all plants, he put magic into the DNA. There is some evolution that happened, but the evolution did not happen by accident.
Right.
It happened because an intelligence programmed it.
And so-
Who is that intelligence? It's God, the angels.
And there's where we agree.
Right.
There's where we agree. So we it's a meeting of the minds. And so
Yes, there you go.
so I get everything I get from God because I how would I know? How would I know? Every time I answer a psychic question for you guys, I mean, how would I know it? And honestly, I don't. I have no clue. As a matter of fact, my science is I know I don't know. And so if I know I don't know, I can always know everything. And so because I'm just allowing that information to come. And so science and spirituality are kind of meeting up these days.
Yes, they are.
And that's an amazing thing to see, right?
Absolutely.
If you're awake. I think, like I know you're both doctors, and I know you guys are both very spiritually awake. And I also have other doctor friends, and they are very spiritually asleep in a coma.
Right.
And I'm going, and then I could do something over and over and over right in front of them with their family members or whatever, and they still be like, over their head. And so, but after a while, that's got to come around. That people have to sort of get it. I think that they will. And so, and also I see a lot of spiritual people, and I'm not beating you guys up out there, but I see a lot of spiritual people who are also mad at medical science, and I think that's a wrong theory as well. I think that don't be too addicted to any theory. That's where you get really tricked, is what I think. And so it doesn't matter what side of the trade you're on. But anyway, tell us what else you do. I mean, you guys do so many magical
Well,
things.
So the book I wrote with my wife, Barbara, is called The Marriage Map, The Road to Transforming Your Marriage from Ordeal to Adventure.
Okay.
So
yeah, none of my audience needs that. Joking. No, all you guys need that because you call me about these crazy problems.
Right.
You know.
right.
So what does the book say? What does the book tell you? What will you get from the book?
So the book gives you a big picture of what to expect in life. Inevitably, we go from feeling close to those we love to feeling more separated from those we love, to back to feeling close, to back to feeling more autonomous.
And that's because we're balancing our individuality and connection. We're constantly going back and forth in our development.
Does it ever get right? Does it ever just be?
If we hang in there, the years from 20 to 40 are very key. Actually, 20 to 45 are really key. And if you are intentional and you grow, and relationships help you grow, because there's an inevitable friction that happens when you're in relationship with someone that forces you to stretch. And
Right.
if you're committed to looking at yourself and working on yourself, you can evolve yourself and actually balance your heart with your mind.
Yeah, how does a person do that? Now, so what would explain to me? What would you tell someone that needs to do that, which is everybody?
So it's inevitable that's going to happen. It's not like this is bad when you're going back and forth.
Right.
You start out when you're a newborn baby, you're sucking on mother's breast, you're at one with mother, you cry, the milk comes in.
Yep.
You get to be two, you're crying, and mother says, and you say, no, but I want that doll, I want that ice cream,
Yeah.
and mother's not saying no.
Right.
So you're feeling more separate from that. Then you get to be 4, 6, 8 years old, you love being part of the family, you're one of the family, you love it, you're feeling close to being a part of the family, you love that, you're
Right.
feeling close. Then you get to be 13, 14, and you want nothing to do with the family. You know everything,
I know that's right.
and you want to be, and you're feeling autonomous and separate from those things that you love, the family.
Right.
Then you get to be 20 something. You have your own family. You're married. You have your own kids, and you're feeling close. You love being part of the family again. And you get to be 30 something, 40 something, and you've had enough. You want your own time, your own career, your own personal space. And maybe you get to the next phase where you're once again feeling close. You're a grandparent and you're feeling this wisdom in your life. But it doesn't end there. When you look at the spiritual life,
Right.
when we study spirituality, we know that you can move into feeling like I am infinite and eternal, and out there everything is flat.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmic consciousness kind of experience. I am unbelievably big, but everything out there is flat. And then you move into feeling like, oh, I'm feeling in love with all these flat things. Used to be flat. Now I'm in love with them. I'm feeling God's presence in them.
That's a brilliant way to put it.
And
I'm
so-
going to
and
steal
you-
it.
you
I'm going
keep-
to steal that from you.
You're welcome. You're welcome to do that.
That's
you
good.
keep going back and forth. It doesn't ever end.
Wow.
The challenge is to stay for the duration and really work it through. A lot of people conclude during those 20 to 40 years, whenever you're sinking into that period of conflict or tension in your partnership. It's very easy to conclude that this doesn't work, we don't belong together, I chose the wrong partner.
Things have come to a pretty pass. Our romance is growing flat.
And while that's true for some people, it's not true for the numbers of people in America who divorce. It's backing away from the opportunity of really stretching yourself and learning to love someone who's different.
Let me ask you a question. So, with what you said there, a lot of people get divorced that probably shouldn't get divorced.
Yes.
What would you tell those guys? What would you tell someone if they're going through something now and it seems like the only thing they could possibly do is just get away from this other human being that they're loving and hating at the same time?
So I'd say is you're stuck. It doesn't feel comfortable. It's
Right.
because you have a mountain of resentments that you haven't learned how to talk about.
Yeah.
And so you're sick and disgusted at your partner instead of really having the skills to sort things out and to learn together how to create a relationship that works for both of you. So if you have to learn how to talk about yourself and talk about what you want in a respectful way. And most people wake up to those feelings when they're beyond being rational and they're angry and disrespectful and everything breaks down.
How do you get it back?
You want to learn skills. You want to learn how to talk. You need to learn how to reflect and talk about your feelings underneath your anger.
How about the person that won't hear you when you're talking?
Well,
what do you do?
You learn together. You each have a point of view. And what you find out if you stick with it is that each of your points of view is valid. Isn't that amazing?
But here's the thing I see a lot of times. You know, I am a psychic, and so I just simply, a lot of times I'll get the answer without the minutia of all the stuff that a therapist
has to work through.
Has to work through. I could not do your job. I would jump across the table and choke them. I would say, "Can you hear me now?" You know, and so I can go to the answer, and sometimes that resonates enough truth to heal people. But at the same time, you know, even though they'll be healed for a moment, without doing the work, it doesn't stick.
Right.
Yes.
So with you guys, it's very necessary that they figure out all these other things, whether it's the medical side of things. It could be as simple as sexual dysfunction or as complicated as that. It could be as complicated.
Hormone imbalance. So
Yeah.
frequently, women lose hormones and they go crazy. They don't sleep. They're irritable. They're upset. They lose interest in sexuality. Men gradually they become lethargic and they lose their
Couch potato.
Yeah.
Big old
And
recliner. Big
it's-
old lazy boy remote
That's right.
control
And
drooling.
it's all
Yeah.
hormones.
Yeah.
So that's one possibility. The other possibility is that when you deal with an upset in a relationship, when it is just happening, it's an easy thing if you have the skills to say, ouch, that hurts. And when you say that about me in front of other people, that hurts. Or when you do this behavior, that hurts. And the other party can say, oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, geez. Or they can say, well, I didn't mean to hurt you. Or maybe they said, I did mean to hurt you because you hurt me whenever. You can then deal with it when it's little. When you've let it fester for months and years, it's an avalanche. It just overwhelms.
Right.
There's no way to deal with it. It's so overwhelming. So what we do in our classes, we teach falling in love secrets, and we teach the skills that you need to fall in love with your current partner.
And let me just say this right now.
Yeah.
How do people get your classes? How do you do that? Like people are watching now and they want to know, okay, I'm in, I'm in. How do I get these classes? And
They go to fallinginlovesecrets.com
fallinginlovesecrets.com.
and they can sign up for the classes.
Oh, good. Makes
Yeah.
it really, really
Yeah.
easy. And
Makes
so I've got to ask you a question about relationships.
Yeah.
I see so many times people are like, I hurt you or you hurt me and I'm going to hurt you more. And
Yes.
I'm going to hurt,
That's
so
right.
people are trading licks.
That's right.
They're basically boxing it out. You guys are boxing it out. You're trading. How do you get somebody to stop it? How do you get somebody to, stop, go to your corners? Like, what do you do when people come? What do you do?
Well, in our class, we have a way of teaching people how to listen and really understand the reality of their partner.
What's the word again?
Listen.
What's that? So many times you can't hear. You can hear everyone else, but
Right.
you can't hear the person that loves you the most.
Right.
And you can't hear the person that you're the closest to.
Right.
And so you got to be a good listener.
Right. One of the secrets that we talk about is if you're not listening without interrupting your partner, then you're not really listening. You have to not interrupt. Give them 5 minutes to just talk and just listen to what they're saying. And we teach them how to
that's
do
hard.
It is hard.
That's really hard.
It is
Like
hard.
if you're listening to your partner and they're going off some junk, you're just saying, "Oh, no, I want to kill you."
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that.
And then what most couples don't know is that what hurts them in their relationship in present time usually goes back to their childhood or some earlier hurt.
I see this all the time. One of my biggest things I do when I'm doing radio shows, you'll hear me, guys. A lot of times you'll hear me when I'm doing a podcast here, and I'll say, "You're turning into your mother." And then always the person on the other end of the phone will say, "Oh my God, I know."
Yeah.
And they'll know they're
Yeah.
turning into their
Yeah.
not the good part of mom. I'm sure you love mom, but the bad part.
Right.
And so that happens.
It's very helpful in a couple for one party to say, I was really hurt when this and this happened.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like I am 4, 6, 8, 12 years old, like what happened with my mother or my father.
Right.
Because then your partner can say, oh, you're not doing it just to torture me. You're not doing it just to be mean. You're doing it because you're feeling like you're just that 6-year-old child again.
Right.
Oh, now I understand. So for Barbara and I, the way it worked, Barbara would ask me, I want you to call me when the airplane lands. I say, what? This is before cell phones. I have to find a payphone. I'm in a rush. I got to get the taxi. I got to do this. She wants me to call her because she's afraid I'm dead. I say,
Right.
oh, geez, this is like driving me crazy. Would you stop that? This is like, and then she told me what it was from. Because when she was 2, she lost her natural father, never saw him again.
Oh.
And she's afraid of losing those things she loves. And I realized, oh, that's why.
Well,
she's-
what an insensitive bastard you are. Right? Were.
Well,
Did you
yeah.
get through that? Did he get
Well,
through that? Did
yes.
he get through?
Yes, well,
But-
we're like
But we don't know we're insensitive bastards.
right.
I think
Yeah,
guys, I
that's
think all
right.
guys are the same way. I mean, sometimes we can be the most insensitive bastards in the world, and so and we don't know we are. We just don't
Right.
know
So
it.
Gary, Michael and I are like every couple. When we hit our early 30s, we
Yeah,
were
did you guys always get along like you do now? I mean, you guys are wonderful. now.
we bonded early on, but then life takes its own rhythm. We had children, we had work, we had lots of responsibilities, and we got trapped in a conflict where I didn't feel like Michael gave me enough attention, and Michael didn't feel like I respected him enough.
So a real story that happened to us.
Right. So you're going to air your junk right here.
Right.
Right here on Tapping In. You get to hear the junk. That's
It's a
perfect.
real story. So I am working as a medical doctor, getting the practice going. I'm very, very busy. Get there at 9 o'clock. I'm coming home from the hospital 11
Right.
o'clock at night. I'm exhausted.
Really working hard. Working for the
exhausted.
family.
Right. I'm doing everything for the family.
Everything you're supposed to do.
Everything. And I come home and I open the door, and the first thing Barbara says is,
I just want to talk about my feelings.
I said, oh my God, I'm exhausted. Let's talk tomorrow. I have to go to sleep. I'm so tired.
And I said, you never want to talk about anything. You don't care about me.
And I say, I can't believe you're so selfish. You only care about yourself. And we get
Oh,
this
yeah.
big argument.
Trading licks.
And while it's going on, lightning is happening and thunder. And we're arguing and arguing. The lightning and thunder are getting closer and closer together.
Wow.
And we're in the bedroom screaming at each other. When the lightning and thunder happens at the same moment, and the lightning comes down the chimney,
Wow.
and it sprays through the grated fence in front of the fireplace and spreads sparks all over the room.
Wow.
And we're stunned into silence.
Oh my God.
And this was a message from the heavens.
From God.
Get off of this, do this better, stop this. And so that's what made us move into a better
So it was really an act of God.
It
was an
was.
act of
It
God.
was.
And your house gets struck by lightning. Lightning comes down the fireplace, blows everything all
That's
over
right,
the place.
that's right.
And you guys,
Well, that was just the beginning
now
of
if
the
you were
journey.
Southern, you'd be like, you have pissed off the Lord. That's what they did. They pissed
Well,
off.
that's
anyway.
true. We
And
did.
so there we are.
So we started to learn and grow, and actually our course is really the fruit of our learning. What it takes to
Good.
have a deep, Michael's my best friend as well as my romantic favorite guy.
Let me ask this question. How do you become best friends? How do couples, and many times I'll tell couples, because I read a lot of guys and girls, in psychic readings, and the guys are always looking for their spouse to be their best friend. They really are.
Well, it can start like that, but then life takes over, and what I was sitting on was a lot of resentment. I felt like Michael married me, and then he got busy with his life. He was interested in meditation. He was interested in building a practice, and I became like on a book on the shelf. And I was, carrying those resentments, and it took a long time to really sort that out and really understand and heal that. And Michael, on his side, I had to learn how to talk like a reflective, intelligent person and not be out of my mind crazy about my hurts. And Michael needed to learn how to listen and care about what I was saying.
And that quality of learning to listen was not an easy thing. So
How do you do it?
So
Like for the guys that are watching now and thinking, oh God, how can I listen to her better?
well, that's what
Or your spouse better, her, whoever you with.
That's what we teach in our classes. We teach the skills, like learning ice skating or basketball playing. How do you learn how to be a good basketball player? You got to practice it over and
Okay,
over.
so you gotta practice.
So you have to practice the listening skills. So we practice it for months and months, and Barbara
It
would
feels like work.
It is work.
Okay.
It is.
For you lazy people, you're doomed. You will never have a successful relationship in this life.
But here's the thing. It creates a kind of cognitive development. It makes your mind more capable of thinking more complexly. And we
Okay.
have to be able to think greater and deeper to solve the problems in life. So it's
think
an important stretch.
I think so. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys being here. I love everything you do. And all you do is heal people all the time. How do people get in touch? One more time. How do people get in touch with you?
Well, our website is themarriagemap.com.
Okay.
Is the website for our marriage, the whole marriage.
You do so many things.
Yeah.
So that's how you fix the marriage thing.
And then if they want to take the classes, they go to fallinginlovesecrets.com. That
Okay.
will set them up to take
And then
the
there's our
classes.
book, The Marriage Map.
Okay, the marriage map.
The marriage
How do you
map.
get your book? Where do you
Well,
get your book?
they can go on the internet or they can go on the website. They can
Okay.
get it from the website
All
too.
right. And so,
And
this
then-
is
and
this
then-
is an easy how-to book, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then my website, ocwellness.com, is all my medical stuff. If they want to visit me in California and come to see me, I'm
I
happy
do. I go visit in California, and I
Yeah,
always
yeah.
feel better when I leave, and I feel better for another 6 months. I mean, it's really quite amazing. Thank you, Dr. Michael. Thank you, Dr. Barbara.
It's a pleasure.
And thank you guys for being my friend. I appreciate you, and thank you for being our guest here on Tapping In with Gary Spivey. And we'll be right back right after this. If you don't know how to meditate, it's really simple. You can meditate every week with me. I'll send you a free meditation, and all you got to do is text my name, Gary, text Gary to 797979. That's text Gary, my name, to 797979, and I'll send you a free meditation every week, and you can just meditate along with me. It's real simple. Well, we're on to your questions, and so now hey, we're going to take a call and see what somebody has something to say, right? We got a call. All right, good. Erlina, it's Gary. How are you?
Hi, Gary. How are you? So great to talk to you again.
Hey.
You know, we spoke years ago, and you released me from being so codependent on other people and set me on my spiritual growth here.
Oh, wow.
The last 5 years, though, and I truly became a happy person. I have to tell you that.
Oh, good.
Last 5 years, I've been a caregiver for my mother and father, and I'm trying to claim my life back.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's it now, but I seem to have something in the way.
Can we ask Helena what her age is approximately?
Barbara's wanting to know how old you are.
I am 63.
Oh, well, honey, I can clear you up. That's what I'll do, okay? When I look at you, I just see some dark energies around you, and I have my special guest here with me today, Dr. Michael Grossman. And Dr. Michael, say hi.
Hi.
And Dr. Barbara.
Hi there.
How you doing?
We're good. When I look at you spiritually, what I see is a lot of times it's hard for you to get your focus because you're still a person that cares so deeply about other people that you're always putting everybody in front of yourself. Make sense?
Yes.
And so, and it's kind of another way of saying what you said a minute ago, but when I look at you, you just care so much. You're just a love bug. So I would love it if you're around me because I love bugs. And so, but as I cleared your energy off, you're looking a lot brighter. And I see you also got one family member that's really driving you a little nutty, right?
Yep.
Right? Which one's got you? Which one's got you right now?
My mother.
Oh, well, you know what's really interesting? I read it. I felt like I would be wrong if I said what I was seeing. But instead of your mother, I really read your daughter. And so there's a point where this happens. And you know, I had two old parents that I hung out and took care of. And I realized one day with my two old parents that I was really not talking to my parents anymore. I was talking to my children. And so, and I realized that at some point, your parents then become your children. And then that's a big switcheroo. And so, because even when I read you, I thought your daughter was driving you crazy. And that felt like the wrong answer. So that's the reason I asked you, what family member is it?
I'm just going through trying to help her spiritually as well.
Yeah, well,
so
that's-
that might be what you're feeling.
No, that's what I'm seeing. She's making you a little nutty. But I think you have to think of her as your daughter, not as your mother. And that's hard to do. And does that make sense to you, though?
Yes, that does.
Yes. What do you, Barbara, you got something.
So it sounds like, Lena, you feel like your life is out of balance. You're giving to your mom, and there's so much that she needs. It could be that you need somebody to take some of the hours that you spend with your mom and give you a rest so that you can create balance in your life, so you can have something going on for you.
You're saying she needs some help. Does anybody help you with your mom, or are you it?
Well, No, because she's so difficult to deal with. Most people don't want to deal with her.
Most people can't
That's
put
the
up with her.
problem.
Well, there you are. I think you do have to kind of look at her more like your daughter than your mom, and when you do that, you'll find things become very easy. And Dr. Michael's shaking his head yes, and so
Yeah, I think it's real important to balance out the giving with your own life, and to do that, you need to create boundaries that make sense, not from anger, not from resentment, but just to create boundaries. So that Bob suggested that you get someone else who provides some care for them, so that you have every Friday night off to go out and be with people, that
Right.
you know that you can make a date with somebody, your friends,
and get a life. You were saying when you try to get a life or go do something, she gets crazy with you, right?
Right. I am trying to stay in my lane. I'm getting to the point where I just kind of ignore, but it kind of makes me feel like, she doesn't want me to have a life. She acts like that little spoiled child who does the bad things and says bad things to attention when you're not focusing on her.
That's correct.
That's how it makes me feel.
It's exactly right, and it's exactly as Gary says. If she was your child, you would have a different reaction to a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old who was insisting on getting it her way. You would just say, no, this is how it's going to be.
Yep.
And you say, nevertheless, that's the magic word, nevertheless. You don't argue, you don't fight, you just say, nevertheless, and then you just say how it is.
And just
that's it.
move into, and if you move into that category, I think that'll help. And also, Barbara, you had something to add.
Yes, I mean, what I think I'm hearing is that, Arlena, you may be caught between feeling guilt for not providing your mom with everything she wants and resentment for providing too much and giving too much of yourself. It's a developmental issue where you can't win either way, and so it keeps you stuck.
Yeah, that's it. You feel stuck, right? Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I cleared off the stuck energy around you. When I look at you, I see that you're going to be invited for two things. One thing you know about in the next week or two. Does that make any sense? Do you know somebody's got you sort of planned to do something? What's that? Do you know about it?
That's my daughter.
Okay.
She's going through her spiritual growth thing, so she wants me to go to Sonoma with her in the next week or so.
Go. Okay, that's what I see. Now, you knew about the one thing. You don't know about the other thing, but the other thing will come out of that thing. So what I want you to do is go. Whatever you do, take that trip. You go on that trip, and you have fun, and don't worry about mama, okay? You just go.
Okay.
Okay? Do that, honey. I love you. We all love you, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate the time so much with you guys. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you a whole lot. Thank you for watching Tapping In as well with Gary Spivey.
Spiritual development happens no matter what. The woman who called today, who said they were struggling with taking care of their mother, what she's going through at the age of 63 is an inevitable conflict between doing for others and doing for self. It often happens to caregiving mothers in their 20s and 30s, when the woman is full of compassion and bonding to her children, and she gets to a point where she's giving, and there's no space and time for herself. And the resolution of this challenge is when she feels the guilt for wanting more for herself, contrasting with the resentment of giving too much. Eventually, she walks through the door and she claims herself. That is not only a psychological step forward, but it's a spiritual step forward.
Right.
And it's made possible through relationship.
That makes sense to me. That makes a lot of sense.
But in terms of marriage, see, you have to feel like there's something bigger than just being happy.
Right.
Because if your purpose in getting married is to be happy, it's a bad problem.
Oh, really?
Bad problem.
Oh, okay.
Because then, as soon as you have an argument, I'm getting out. I've had enough.
Because you're not happy.
You're not making me happy anymore. I'm going to find someone else who's going to make me happy. And when you're looking at it for spiritual growth, I'm in this relationship to grow spiritually so I can fall in love with my wife so intensely that I see God's face through her.
Oh, my God. I love you. I love you. Oh, my God. He's breaking down because he loves you so much. You heard it here. If you could say one thing to Michael on how much you appreciate him, what would it be?
I am moved beyond words by your love and commitment to me, and I just feel grateful beyond words. And you've taught me what no book or class could have ever taught me about loving and appreciating, and it leads me to God. It's so bountiful. It's so delicious.
I love you guys. I love you guys. You know what? And I love you guys. Check me out right here on Tapping In with Gary Spivey. I can't wait to see you next week. Let us know your question. If you like our stuff here, just remember to like and subscribe to our channel.